My name is Mary Stevens. I'm a Student Finance Officer here at Alliant. Today's agenda includes these 6 items. So let's jump in. What does it mean to be a legacy student under the One Big Beautiful Bill Act? So the One Big Beautiful Bill Act was a law passed by Congress last year, and it goes into effect on July 1st. But what about legacy? What does that mean? Current, active, and new Alliant students who have a federal loan disbursed to their student account by June 30th of 2026 will be classified as a legacy Title IV student. Now that statement, there's a whole lot that goes into that statement of having a federal loan disbursed. That includes submitting your 2025-2026 FAFSA, having it processed favorably because, of course, federal financial aid is always determined by the FAFSA and a student's eligibility, completing the required loan documents, having a loan offered, accepting it. There's a lot of steps that go into being disbursed. Disbursement happens in the 3rd week of each term as long as everything is completed. So we're going to take a closer look at that in a minute. But this is the actual definition, according to the law, of a legacy student. Legacy students are exempt from the new federal loan rules, which go into effect on July 1st, and they come under the current loan rules. Being a legacy student will allow a student to apply for a Graduate Plus loan if they wish. Also, they're eligible to borrow federal loans up to the existing loan caps. And just to clarify, legacy students, this is all about federal loans, not private. All this information that we're going through right now. One thing that's critical for students to understand about legacy provisions is that I like to say they come with an expiration date. Legacy provisions will expire on whichever comes first, either June of 2029 or the expected degree program completion date as listed in the enrollment agreement. Now, a word about that program completion date. The program completion date in the enrollment agreement, that's actually set at a programmatic level. It's not something that can be changed. It's set in stone. Now, the graduation date, that can be changed. But as far as legacy provisions, they expire on whichever comes first, that completion date in the enrollment agreement or June of 2029. You should have received a copy of your enrollment agreement from your admissions counselor in an email. Why does it matter to be a legacy? Well, for some students, it might not make a big difference if they haven't ever used federal loans before and they're not interested in borrowing Grad Plus, but for others, it might make a big difference. So let's take a look at the new loan rules. There are a lot of changes that go into effect on July 1st. This slide emphasizes 3 of the biggest changes. First of all, there will be the elimination of Grad Plus loans. So this slide summarizes the new rules. No Grad Plus loans for students starting in any graduate program using federal financial aid after July 1st. Also, there are strict new borrowing limits. For most students in most graduate programs, that lifetime limit is $100,000 of graduate level unsubsidized loans. And each academic year, or we say annually, they're eligible for up to $20,500. The only program at Alliant that is eligible for the higher amount is the clinical psychology PsyD and PhD programs. They have a $200,000 lifetime limit and a $50,000 limit under the new rules. The third item, and this can really impact some students if they are coming to Alliant with a previous graduate degree, that is the universal borrowing cap. $257,500, which includes all federal student loans ever borrowed at any grade level, including undergraduate loans, Graduate Plus loans, even if those loans have been paid off or forgiven. So these are some of the reasons why some students are finding it very beneficial to start in summer and to be a legacy student. So what are the deadlines to secure and maintain legacy status? Students want to make sure that they have all of their loan documents completed by May 21st, 2026, ideally. That would be a great date to have everything done. Loan offers accepted in the student portal, loan entrance counseling completed on the federal site, studentaid.gov, and also the master promissory notes for the unsubsidized loans, and if you're using Graduate Plus loans, for Graduate Plus loans. There's 2 MPNs, or master promissory notes. If you're not sure which one, just go ahead and do them both. These are the items that students need to complete. If you don't have a loan offer or you don't know where to find the loan entrance counseling, you can contact us in student finance, but those are on studentaid.gov. Legacy status. Let's say someone does have a federal loan disbursed before the end of June. Well, what should they do to be able to keep legacy status? This slide has a list of items to avoid to stay on track with completing your program. If a student is enrolled in a 0-unit course or takes an academic absence, if they are enrolled part-time, or they're unable to secure their internship or practicum site according to the program's timeline, or if they take dissertation extension, all of those things put a student at risk of losing legacy provisions. To summarize, the goal is to just stay on track with completing your program on time. What steps should you take now to avoid disruptions to your funding? This slide talks about an overview of the other items students using federal loans that they need to keep in mind. Students that are borrowing federal loans have to maintain something called satisfactory academic progress. Those are minimum academic standards that the Alliant Financial Aid Administration will review after every loan period to make sure you're maintaining those minimums and then be eligible for continued loan usage. Those include a 3.0 grade point average or higher, a completion rate of 67%. The completion rate is determined by taking the cumulative amount of units you've successfully completed and divided that number by the cumulative amount of units you've ever attempted. And it needs to be at least 67% or higher. And then there's a time frame component. It's a little harder to explain. It has to do with time measured in units, not months or years. For example, sometimes students can retake a class and use federal loans, and sometimes they're not able to. If you have a question about time frame, you can contact us in student finance, but all of those get checked after each loan period or academic year. If a student is meeting the minimum requirements, then they can continue to borrow loans if they have their FAFSA on file. So students want to make sure that they fill out a FAFSA each year. Now, it gets a little bit messy as to when does the FAFSA come out? What loan period or academic year are we talking about? It doesn't line up. It's not neat. So we recommend just filling out a new FAFSA each year when they become available. And generally, they are becoming available on October 1st. Maintaining full-time enrollment. You want to work really closely with your academic advisor to stay on track with completing your program on time. And if you're a student that is planning to borrow Grad Plus loans, when a student fills out the application for a Grad Plus loan, the Department of Ed runs a credit check on your credit history. They're not looking at your FICO credit score. They're not checking your debt to earnings ratio, but they are looking at your loan history to see if there's an adverse loan history. They're looking for things like bills and collections, unpaid bills, bankruptcies, liens, foreclosures, those kind of things. So if you are hoping to borrow Grad Plus while you are eligible for legacy provisions, Make sure you pay your bills on time. Don't declare bankruptcy. And don't discharge your loans. Okay, how can you ensure that you're financially cleared to start your program on June 1st? Ask yourself these 3 questions. Did you accept your loan offers? Do you have a loan offer in your portal? Did you complete the loan entrance counseling on studentaid.gov? And how about the MPNs? Did those get completed on studentaid.gov? If you've finished everything on this slide, then you should be prepared. If you have questions, please contact us in Student Finance. We are here to help you. We don't want you to get frustrated. We don't want you to be confused. We really want to help you. We are a bit swamped right now. I'm just going to tell you. There are hundreds of students starting on June 1st, and there's about 6 of us helping the entire student body in Alliant, just under 5,000 students. So I would recommend, if you have a quick question, you can send an email to sf@alliant.edu. If you have a question, call the main number in San Diego, 858-635-4700. Plan to leave a voicemail, and please leave your question and your student ID number. That way we can call you back and answer your question, hopefully. And you can go ahead and, if you'd like, scan the QR code and book an appointment. We are booked out a few weeks, but it doesn't hurt to still make an appointment in June if you're a summer start student. Thank you so much for attending and for your attention.